The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the podcast. This is Nikki Glaser Podcast. Fresh week of shows coming right at you on time. Recorded the week of the. So we've had to bank some the past couple weeks because I was in Australia and we had other stuff going on. But now they're fresh. They're up to date. Within a couple days. Let's be honest.
You won't find them in the discount bin.
What'd you say?
Mm-hmm. You won't find them in the discount bin.
Wait, what does that mean?
Because in the discount bin is all like the stuff. Because we have someone in studio.
Yeah,
this is new.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
squid.
a reference to what Julie Glaser likes to eat.
That's Noah's catchphrase too. She's been saying that a lot lately.
I'm like, where have I missed this reference? But yes, she did say it like Julie Glaser, who is here, says it.
I know. She's
not gonna
speaking
find
for me.
those in the discount bin.
And then we don't want them.
Yeah, we don't. Then we don't want it. Julie Glaser is here. Hi, Mom. Welcome to the show.
Nikki. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're twinning today. We're wearing the same sweatshirt. She came in wearing a sweatshirt that I got us both for Christmas.
She had to hurry up and put hers on.
I put mine on, and as my mom was taking hers off, being like, it is hot in here. And I go, but I'm putting it on to look like
so
you.
I'm hot right
and
now.
so now she's hot. And and Brian Frangi's here. I was with Brian all weekend. We were in Port Chester, New York on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then we
Brian
were
was
in
with you.
Ben Salem at Parks Casino on Saturday night.
Wow.
Yes.
Good shows, great crowds, lots
Good.
of besties.
You had a good crowd turnout on Sunday night?
Honestly, yeah.
Great.
Well done.
You were
to
nervous because
Westchester
of the-
County, New York.
The Oscars.
During the
been on.
Oscars.
During
Yeah.
literally during the Oscars started an hour before,
Yeah.
so you could have maybe
Earlier
watched
this time.
the opening monologue and then zipped to the theater and seen it. But
Ryan Gosling went to the Oscars and then came to Nikki's show in
there.
Dorchester. Wow.
That would have been
oh, I'm so glad he didn't make it to our show because I
He
have,
had to hurry
I
up
have
and get
watched
his
his
kids
performance of I'm Just Ken
so
3
many-
times.
Oh my God.
And I want to watch it 4 and 5 and 6, but I'm trying to taper it because I want to maximize the joy that it gives me every time. So I'm trying not
Stay
to
in that
overdo
zone.
it.
What'd you
Yeah.
like about it? What is it?
Was
So happy?
so good. Okay, first of all, this song, the movie itself was great, but Ken's arc I haven't even considered. There's so many times with a song that I'll just hear it, and it's just a song, and it's good, and it sounds good, and I like the way it sounds, and it makes me feel a certain way, but I don't really know why. And then I'm watching it, at the Oscars, and I've watched it now 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, oh, this song's fucking amazing. This is a song about a guy who's overshadowed by Barbie, doesn't feel seen by Barbie, is in a relationship where he's not getting his needs met, and he doesn't feel like he has value. And so he inherently thinks he doesn't have value in anywhere. And because the whole world is built, his world that he lives in, Barbie Land, is built to make him feel marginalized. So he's this man with low self-esteem that's constantly acting like it's not a problem, right? I'm okay. Because I watched Barbie again last night, or I started watching it, and I kind of saw his struggle, which I already knew about, but I wasn't in tune with it, of this guy is just putting up with constantly being told that his feelings don't matter. And that, he's like, Barbie, you want to hang out tonight? And she's like, I'm having a sleepover with the girls, and we're going to have it forever, every night, for eternity. And he's just like, of course, why would I even want to stay? Okay, yeah. And then he kind of slinks off dancing. So he has this sad existence. And so the song is a realization of that. The song comes out of the moment where he realizes what am I? I'm just Ken. She's Barbie and I'm just Ken. And it's I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. What'll it take for her to, I'm just Ken. Where she sees love, where I see love, she sees a friend. He's never going to get seen. And then the song shifts. And it becomes, by the end of it, it starts out the sad song of I'm just Ken, anywhere else I'd be a 10. And then it goes to I'm just Ken and so am I. Put that manly hand in mine. And it's becomes this thing of we are just Ken. And it's triumphant. So it has this arc. A story
Crescendo.
arc where it's listening to it the first through probably 12 times I've heard it because I have it on Spotify. I just am it's a song about just being mediocre, but there's a turn in it where he is really proud of being Ken, and then this whole group of people are singing, and so am I. And then at the Oscars, to have Emma Stone say, and so am I, was just like that we're all Ken, you know, and being Ken isn't so bad, and that you are maybe not as talented or shiny or as perfect looking or as like get as much attention as Barbie, and you never will. You live in a world
I don't know.
Well, no.
I prefer Bono walking around holding a balloon going, "Where are my keys? Are my children safe?
Don't get me started
Is this
again.
my house?"
Steve Jobs.
That's a better performance, I think.
It was just, and he's so he just does this thing where, you know, you want him to commit to the character hard, which he absolutely does, but he's also not trying too hard. There's like the way he walks, he's just like smooth. The way he kind of mails in some of the dance moves that looks like he's not trying, but it's like that's a part of his character, is this guy who's like doing the dance moves but doesn't really care. So like he's just so cool.
Oh.
Ryan Gosling's
Ryan
just
Gosling's
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And people are like impressed by how good of a dancer and singer he is. Dude, this guy was in the Mickey Mouse Club. That's MK
That's
where they all
Ultra.
start.
That's MK Ultra for
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in a long
for
time.
talent. MK Ultra is why
What is that?
That's well, you heard about MK Ultra in the Kennedy assassination Rob
okay, that's why
Reiner
it's coming back.
podcast.
Okay.
And that is what the CIA used to mind control people. And that's he went through.
It's a
he
way-
was MK
it
Ultra
was a
in
way-
Atlanta, I think.
To develop super soldiers to combat the Russians in the Cold War, and they were, you know, the Bourne series.
Yep.
The Bourne that's an MK Ultra movie.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, I
didn't
Bourne
know
is
that.
MK Ultra guy.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that Mickey Mouse Club is MK Ultraing for just talent. Like if you want someone to kill the president, MK Ultra them to assassinate. If you want someone to perform well the rest of their lives flawlessly, Mickey Mouse Club, get them in there. They will.
Good advice.
I mean that's really. I mean that book, The Talent Code, that we read, Brian. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
always
love The Talent
what I
Code.
remember from that. You were the one that recommended that to me. I think like 7 years ago at this point.
It was a long time ago.
It was 7 years. Maybe no 8. We're in 2024, baby. That was 2016.
in the amount of time that I recommended that, you could have developed a talent. in something.
Honestly, that is not. I did, and like playing guitar, like I definitely researched or I like referenced the talent code in it. It's like you're only gonna get, or singing and playing guitar, you're only gonna get what you put into it, and the only reason anyone's ever better at you than anything is a little bit of born talent.
Okay.
Like is an aptitude for something. But it's
Yeah,
mostly
Born Ultimatum.
Yeah,
That 10,000.
it's mostly the hard work
Yeah.
and the repetition
Yes.
and being comfortable with
Yes.
sucking and being okay with sucking and making those little improvements and staying in a zone where you're always working on something that's a little challenging, not too challenging. Don't try to play, something expert level when you're a beginner, because you'll get discouraged and
you
you'll quit.
discouraged.
Right.
But it should
Yeah.
be something that you could do, but it's a little out of reach.
Right.
And that will
It's a
always
reach zone.
keep you.
That'll keep you interested.
Yeah, but the thing that I'll always remember from that book is Beyonce did not come out Beyonce. Beyonce
No.
didn't have a childhood. That's why she's Beyonce. We didn't see the hard work. We didn't see all the hours she put in before she came on the scene when she was 16, 17. But that was 16 years. Let's take away
Yep.
4 years, because she probably started when she was 4. That's 12 years of intense Jackson 5-esque
Really?
boot camp working.
Really? You know that for sure.
Yeah, she worked her ass off. She was in like dance. She went to like dance schools instead of school and
Oh.
singing. Like
One
I
of the
mean,
examples they gave in the book was Jessica Simpson.
Yes.
Also, she was trained from like 4 years old to become a good singer.
Oh.
And so when she was 12, she was an amazing singer because she had been singing already for 8 years.
yeah,
Same thing with
Right.
Beethoven. Like anybody who is like a phenom, a quote unquote prodigy,
They started
something
at
like
4.
that. They just the parents just took a whip and like started, and maybe they wanted to do it too.
Yeah.
But what kind of 4-year-old
They don't.
like
Knows that.
wants to put in that work
Yeah.
without the parents?
well, they do if it
Pushing them.
means that it's going to give their parents to love them, and so that's why people. I'm an Enneagram 3, and that is that's what we're achievers. Now I'm like a low end achieving 3. Like optimal 3s are like Beyonce's
Okay.
and Taylor Swift's.
Wait, they go up to what?
No, it's like it's
four?
9 different numbers.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
if you're an Enneagram 3, you're the achiever, and you in your core you feel like you don't have value unless you are a success. And usually that success is determined by what your parents are into. So if you and dad were
Guitar players.
yeah, exactly.
that.
No, but dad is, so that's not a good example. But if you were florists and
Oh,
like
okay.
your big thing was like, wow, like, what's it called when they do like landscaping? Landscaping is our family's business was landscaping, and you were so amazed by like yard architecture.
Okay.
I would have probably gotten into that field as a 3.
Okay. You want to
Yeah.
please your
But
parents.
yeah,
It
because
only applies to yard architecture, though, to be clear.
you know, like whatever your
Not-
parents are into, whatever your peer group and the people who you're trying to earn their love are into. And that's not to say because
Right.
you said, I'm not going to love you unless you do this. That's just the
No.
disposition I was born with as
But
a
maybe
3.
she did.
And possibly I got that signaling, but no intent of theirs. But because I made this connection before, because Howard Stern talks about how he didn't have his dad, he didn't feel like his dad loved him. So he was like, oh, but my dad loves the guys on the radio. So I'll just become the best at that.
Oh,
And he'll have
yeah.
to love me because that's what he
Did
loves.
his dad wind up loving him?
No, his dad's like, he's still, I can't speak for Howard, but I would say his dad still doesn't acknowledge how fucking great he is, even though
His
he's
father's
Ah.
dead.
No, his father's still alive. Oh, I think he just died.
Yeah, his father's dead. The
ju-
mother's still
Yes,
alive.
but his father just died.
Yeah.
His dad was around for a while, and I don't think he ever got the validation he wanted. I've got that, and I don't need it anymore. I could stop
Good.
doing this because we've
accept you
arrived.
now.
Yeah, you
We're
guys
accepting
are.
you.
Well, but it does make sense because I look back at my life, and as a 3, I'm like, and by the way, Enneagram is the fucking shit. Taylor's been trying to get me into it forever. I'm so on board
I have
now,
to
and
look
she's
at
like,
this.
yeah, of course. Like she was like, I've been talking about this stuff. She bought me a book for my birthday. I've just cracked it
Yeah.
open. It's so interesting because it nails you, dude. Brian this weekend. Brian's the challenger. He exploded in the 80s.
Yeah, but I wasn't nailed when all those there was things that I was like, that's not me.
No,
I was
but-
kind of
'cause it's
joking,
not,
but
there's not all stuff there's gonna be some things that you're like that doesn't resonate. But
Wow, I'm
by and
afraid of
large,
this.
Don't be afraid because it really opens up yourself to like it makes you feel. I like it because it makes me feel less uniquely weird. So the things that make me weird, I'm
Right,
like,
okay.
oh, they're written in this book. Like everyone who has this number, who is a 3, which is 16% of people or something like that, 13% of people, something in the 10% range, 10 to 13% have this.
Okay.
And it's not that weird. We all want love in this desperate way, and we all inherently don't really like ourselves that much, and we think that if enough people like us, that'll make us liked, and that it's not that bad of a trait, and that it actually makes sense for you. It's not your fault that you're like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm totally into checking this out.
Yeah, but I mean, this weekend when Sonia from the Desperate Housewives DM'd me, I screenshotted it
What?
to serve to you as like, Mom, see,
Ooh.
look, people you love me.
Wait, you didn't send that to me.
Yeah.
I know I forgot to send it, but Sonia
Gosh.
reached out.
Sonia,
Yeah, I don't.
Why?
She said she's on tour and she just wanted to reach out. I don't know what that
New
means.
York?
what does that mean?
Yeah, Sonia. She looks like me.
She
Kinda.
looks like Barbara Streisand is who she looks like.
Who I think I look like sometimes.
Oh, maybe you do.
Just a prominent nose.
you look like so many people. There was someone at the meet and
You're a
greet in
shapeshifter.
Ben Salem who looked like you, and they were too nervous to say that was the case. But then you said it. You said you look like me.
I say it every
and
time.
Then,
Oh, when someone
and
looks
then
like
the
you?
husband was like. The husband was like, "Yes, of course. See, I've been saying this constantly." She's like, "I know I
Oh,
look like
wow.
you. I didn't
I
want to say
started
it." He's like,
doing
"I've been
it
saying."
because people would.
They're afraid to say it.
Yeah, but I know they
For
think
sure.
it, and you don't want to go up to
Yeah.
a girl like, "I think I look like you." If
Yeah.
especially if you think she's like super pretty, and
Yeah.
you're like, "I don't want to
That's
offend
very
her
forward.
if I am not as pretty as her." So I'll just give it to them because I know that I see it too.
Yeah.
And so I have literally not said it once where they haven't gone, "I told you, John!" Like, and they've had the couple's had a moment. Not once. They always have
Well,
thought
it must be
before.
very obvious.
And by the way, girls really like girls who look like them. Like the
Oh.
other night, Anya was freaking out about Jodie Foster, Sandra Huller from the Anatomy of a Fall. She's like obsessed
yeah.
with her.
What about her?
And I go, why? She looks nothing like you. Because Anya's usually obsessed with women who look like her. Like
Right.
you will always notice because
Right,
it's
okay.
Meg Ryan.
every girl. Yeah, Meg Ryan. Every girl likes people that look like them. Everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of my Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift had black hair or a raven
not-
hair, I
yeah.
probably wouldn't. I can't.
You wouldn't relate to her.
as much. There,
Yeah.
I would guess. I can't imagine that. I hope that's not true, but I think it's part of it.
Yeah.
And so when I see girls that look like me, I'm like, it's part of why you like me because I kind of look like you, and you like yourself. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
You like people that look like you.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything
Self-esteem's
wrong with
high.
this.
No, I love it. Yeah.
Oh,
Who do
well,
you
that's-
think you look like?
I don't think I look like anybody. I like
Jodie Foster is who you look like.
I look
Stevie
like
Nicks.
Jodie.
Dude,
Stevie
Jodie
Nicks.
Foster.
Oh.
Is
Is that
the
what you
other
just
night.
mentioned to her?
No, but Anya does love her too, and I was like, you don't look like her either. But you look so. The other night at the Academy Awards, I was like, there's my mom.
Are you kidding?
Identical.
I thought she looked really cute the other night.
She's so cute. Yeah, you look like her.
but I didn't
Yeah.
think she looked cute in the movie that
Yeah.
she was.
Well, I don't think she was trying to look cute.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
The,
can kind of see it.
the Oscars triggered Anya and I.
But
Because people just look too hot. And yesterday we both had a little bit of a dark day because also Matt sent us all the photos from the weekend that he took of us. And like there's just some hard truths learned about our aging heads.
Jeez.
It's just hard to see. I know that you're like, you're so young. What are you talking about? But
No.
like when you were my
Yeah.
age, you were having the same problems.
Uh,
100%. We watched home video the other night and you were like, look at me. And I'm like, you are 32.
I have like 15 different hairstyles.
yeah,
I'm
well, you're
like,
trying some stuff out.
I know, weird.
Well, we have lots to talk about on the show today. There was a photo shoot last week. There was the Oscars. I want to talk more about that. We got triggered. We had shows over the weekend. Noah's
one more
wedding.
thing.
We're gonna go really in depth on. Yes.
Before Noah's wedding, I have a question about Enneagrams because there's 9 types of Enneagrams. There's a thing that I followed called the 9 fears, which is also a way to break down like character types. And I want to know if it's the same thing, just in reverse.
Well, there is a thing on Enneagram that's like your number one fear as this Enneagram. So it's based around fears. Like that's a way to learn about yourself. So each Enneagram does have a base fear.
Okay.
Because this Enneagram, like you're driven by love.
Enneagram's
that
a
the
personality test.
You want to be loved, though. Each one of them is I want.
I think
to be
every
loved.
person wants to be loved.
But that's what the Enneagram's breaking it down by
No,
love.
I
By
don't
the
think so.
degree of love.
I don't think so.
that you need?
I don't know enough. Taylor should be here to answer that, but I do not think that that's what it's breaking it down.
Oh, okay.
It's based on just your disposition, what you were born with, and also nurture. So what your childhood was like, and your probably birth order plays into that. Just what you experienced as a childhood, your sensitivity, just based on how you came out. So it's constantly in the margins of this book. It's like this isn't your parents' fault. It's we're not saying this is all your parents' fault. They keep reminding like this is just kind of
Right,
how
right.
you are as well. But it is your parent stuff too. So it's like it's both of those things. It's really scientific. It's not astrology. It's Enneagram is the shit. Everyone should take a test. Maybe we'll give the test to you, Mom, and then everyone at home can take the test with us because it's really short.
That would be great. I'd
When we
do
get
it.
back, okay. When we get back, we'll do
Really?
an Enneagram test
Okay.
and get out your pens and paper because you'll just remember 2 letters. So I think everyone can do that. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Here comes the Enneagram test that I sent to my girls' chat last week because I wanted everyone to just redo theirs. So and then I gave Brian this test this week. He was an 8. Let's see what everyone else gets. I'll give you so you just have to. Let me just say before this, select one paragraph in each of the following 2 groups. So I'm going to go through 2 groups of paragraphs. There are 3 paragraphs per group. And you got to figure out which of the paragraphs best reflects your general attitudes and behaviors as you have been most of your life. Okay? You do not have to agree completely with every word or statement in the paragraph you select. You may agree with only 80 to 90% of a particular paragraph. Okay? And you could still select that paragraph over the other 2 in the group. However, you should agree with the general tone and overall philosophy of the paragraph you select. You will probably disagree with some part of each of the paragraphs, okay?
Okay.
Do not reject a paragraph because of a single word or phrase.
Okay.
Again, look at the overall picture. Don't overanalyze your choices. Select the paragraph that you have a gut feeling about, okay?
Okay. All right.
So you get it. All right. So this is the first group of paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. Pick which one. A, I have tended to be fairly independent and assertive. I felt that life works best when you meet it head on. I set my own goals, get involved, and want to make things happen. I don't like sitting around. I want to achieve something big and have an impact. I don't necessarily seek confrontations, but I don't let people push me around either. Most of the time, I know what I want and I go for it. I tend to work hard and to play hard. B, I have tended to be quiet and am used to being on my own. I usually don't draw much attention to myself socially, and it's generally unusual for me to assert myself all that forcefully. I don't feel comfortable taking the lead or being as competitive as others. Many would probably say that I'm something of a dreamer. A lot of my excitement goes on in my imagination. I can be quite content without feeling I have to be active all the time. Or C, I have tended to be extremely responsible and dedicated. I feel terrible if I don't keep my commitments and do what's expected of me. I want people to know that I'm there for them and that I'll do what I believe is best for them. I've often made great personal sacrifices for the sake of others, whether they know it or not. I often don't take adequate care of myself. I do the work that needs to be done and relax, and I do what I really want if there's time left.
C.
We got a C on our hands. We got a live one. Noah?
Oh, I'm definitely the B.
Okay, Noah's a B. And Brian, you're A, right?
Yeah, I was A.
I was A as well. Okay. Group 2.
Pennsylvania 8.
Okay, so this is either X, Y, or Z. X. I am a person who usually maintains a positive outlook and feels that things will work out for the best. I can usually find something to be enthusiastic about and different ways to occupy myself. I like being around people and helping others to be happy. I enjoy sharing my own well-being with them. I don't always feel great, but I try not to show it to anyone. However, staying positive has sometimes meant that I've put off dealing with my own problems for too long. Why? I am a person who has strong feelings about things. Most people can tell when I'm unhappy about something. I can be guarded with people, but I'm more sensitive than I let on. I want to know where I stand with others and who and what I can count on. It's pretty clear to most people where they stand with me. When I'm upset about something, I want others to respond and to get as worked up as I am. I know the rules, but I don't want people telling me what to do. I want to decide for myself. Z. I tend to be self-controlled and logical. I am uncomfortable dealing with feelings. I am efficient, even perfectionistic, and prefer working on my own. When there are problems or personal conflicts, I try not to bring my feelings into the situation. Some say I'm too cool and detached, but I don't want my emotional reactions to distract me from what's really important to me. I usually don't show my reactions when others get to me.
Z.
All right, so we've got a CZ.
Yeah.
She's CZ.
Oh, mom's a 1.
Oh, the reformer.
The reformer. Rational,
God.
principled, self-controlled. That's what Chris is.
Oh.
A reformer.
Uh-oh.
You like things to be right and just.
Wow.
Is that true?
You're attracted
Sure,
to
I do.
reformers.
I'm attracted to my mom, and I worked out on a reformer today at Pilates.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
That's
operative.
what I'm talking about.
I was a Z. If you want to know, if you're playing along, and Noah, you were
X. BX.
BX. You are the peacemaker, receptive, reassuring, complacent. That's not nothing. The third one is really
I know.
A dutiful
a
wife.
pushover.
Good at baking things.
Victim. No, the peacemaker is Obama's a peacemaker, so it's a good thing to.
Oh, yeah.
There's good people in that one. And then Brian,
Tell that to
you
the
were
people he droned.
AY, the challenger, self-confident,
Yeah, that's right.
decisive, domineering.
They're right.
Well,
A shuttle
one of
that
the things that I
exploded.
liked about Brian's this weekend when we were reading it is that he, unexpected. That one of it was that sometimes they shout to get their point across, but it's not because they're angry. That's just they get worked up. And both Anya's husband Matt and Brian are challengers, and Anya was like, "Oh my God, that's so helpful to hear." Because when you learn what your partner's thing is, you can learn like, hey, 8s sometimes will shout to get their point across, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's not because they're mad. And then you can then
Right.
hear that and go, okay, maybe I'm not going to take offense. Like, I know I shout when I'm mad, but 8s don't. So maybe when my
Oh my
husband
God, I
shouts.
do that all the
You
time.
shout
and I
so
do it on
much.
stage.
Yes, you
I do it
do.
on stage too.
Yes.
Wow.
It's such
Pretty
a thing.
true to form.
I can't stop myself from shouting.
Oh, man. Wait a minute. I want to know what a reformer does again.
Like you? Yeah. Okay, so let's go through Enneagram 1. Let's go through some of the things.
So in my world, this is all about the fear, which is that she's afraid of being evil.
Oh, that could be
yes.
very true.
Well, you have a core desire.
pers-
Your core desire is to
Yeah.
be perfect.
oh,
You can struggle with your inner critic. You are very orderly. Check. Your biggest fear is imperfection. You want to be cozy. I don't know. You are organized,
cozy like under a
and you
cover.
can be control. Yes,
yeah,
that's true.
Well, she makes
so
homes
true.
cozy.
Totally.
What's that like
I'm
Norwegian coziness thing called?
Oh yeah, there's
Ouija
like
or
a
something?
there's like a word for Norwegians. Yeah.
Ah, I forgot it.
You can
You'd
be
love that.
controlling to maintain perfection. Let's see. At your best, you're ethical, reliable, productive, wise, idealistic, conscientious, honest, orderly, and self-disciplined. At your worst, you're a cunt. No. You're judgmental, inflexible, dogmatic, critical of others, uptight, controlling, anxious, jealous, fixated on imperfections. Do you
Some
feel
of
like
it.
it resonates?
Yeah, it could be kind of close.
It
Huga.
starts to hurt your feelings a little bit.
Yeah, but I see some of that. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's
But reading about it, like I have the whole book. I can give you a whole chapter on yourself because it shows you how to like relieve these types of things and how
Oh.
a healthy one can like what you can do in your life to mitigate some of those things. Because at your best, ones have all of these things that other numbers don't have that you can bring to others and to the world that you might be getting in the way of sharing those. Like you have special things you have things as a one that make you like worse off, but you have things that you can bring to the table that no one else can. That are so
Gotcha.
important.
gotcha.
And can you vacillate between like being good and being bad, or are you
Yeah.
just like stuck?
No, I think you can. I think it's like when you're in halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's when you're going to go to these negative aspects of yourself. I just made that up. Halt is a, 12-step kind of thing. But that's whenever you're like acting out or like never make a decision when you're in halt, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired.
Oh,
Like always ask yourself,
Okay.
halt, stop, halt, and say, what am I any of these things right now? And then proceed.
hungry, angry.
Lonely,
Lonely,
tired.
Got it.
Yeah, that helps me, but not until after the fact. And I go, oh yeah,
too
I was
late.
angry.
Halt.
Oh wait, I was all. I was at. I was
was-
hot. I was hat. I was hungry, angry, and tired.
So are there certain Enneagram types that get along better with other
Yes.
types? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's in like friends and relationships, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like if you go on a YouTube dive, like it's for our listeners that took the quiz along with us, go like pull up what your number is. Oh, I should go through I'm so sorry. I didn't go through what everyone was. If you got AX, you're a 7, the enthusiast. If you got AY, you're 8, the challenger. If you got
Yeah, hell
AZ, you're the 3, you're achiever. If you got BX, you're the peacemaker. If you got if you got BX, you're 9, the peacemaker. If you got BY, you're 4, the individualist. If you're BZ, you're a 5, the investigator. If you got CX, you're 2, the helper. If you got CY, you're 6, the loyalist. And if you got CZ, like my mom, you're number 1, the reformer. So just go to YouTube, type in Enneagram and then your number. And there's tons of experts. Some people that are like, what's it called? Armchair therapist.
Yeah,
Armchair therapist.
Bullshit
But
artists.
But a lot of these people like have read enough. They might not have a degree, but they've done their research. I have to turn everyone on to my new favorite therapist on YouTube. I'm not kidding you. This girl has cracked me wide open, and it's not
Wow.
Enneagram.
Damn.
I'm
Okay.
obsessed with her, and I know I told you all about Hannah Yuri,
Oh, that's the
who
word
is
for
the girl that
Norwegian,
does
coziness.
Yeah, Yuri. Hannah Yuri, Uiri, is the woman who does the restorative yoga for people who've been through trauma. And I just listen to them. I don't even do them. And I should do them. But I listen to them and they soothe me. And they're amazing. Some besties wrote to me to ask for the name again. So I want to just give a shout out because she's a lifesaver to me.
Wow.
Like her videos are just
Wait, what's her
They-
name?
Hannah Yuri. I'll send some to you. You just put the phone next to your head or headphones in
Yeah.
and listen to her tell you what to do yoga style. But the thing is, you don't have to do any of it because the whole thing is because it's for trauma sufferers. It's for people who've been like sexually assaulted. It really is like it's trauma based yoga. And so every time she tells you to do something, she goes, if you want, you don't have to do any of this. And I choose to not do any of it, but she's okay with that because it's like, it's only if you want. Literally everything you can. And now move, you're going to peel your spine up off the mat if that feels comfortable for you to do. And it's like so nice to hear a class where everything is like, if you don't do this, you fail.
Interesting.
Like everything is optional. Thus, you can opt out of the whole thing and she still likes you.
Wow.
It's really like the most comforting thing for someone who's a 3 or I think a 1 to listen to. As someone who's an achiever and a perfectionist, it's just so nice. But here's the new girl I'm onto that I discovered this weekend. This bitch has my number. And she knows everything about me. She is just speaking to my soul and making so much sense. And the way she talks, she repeats herself enough and says it in different ways. And she talks so clearly, but it's off the dome. She's not like reading notes. She's not boring. She talks dynamically. She's incredible. I cannot wait to tell you about her. Her name is Heidi Priebe, Priebe, Heidi Priebe. And she's just amazing. I've listened to so many different talks
How
on YouTube.
do you find someone like her?
Well,
How did you
Old
find
Glazed
her?
Dog was going through it this week. Just
Okay.
like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? Why can't I commit to things? What am I scared of? I got into the Enneagram. I'm like looking into myself. I want to I want to just figure out what's going on here. What are these blocks? And I think I typed in, oh, you know what? I listened to a thing this weekend about shame. So there was this really boring guy, and I wanted to send you the video, Brian, because you were talking about the topic of shame, and I said, oh my God, I have a great video on that. And this guy, I was feeling shame. I just have always known that shame's a part of who I am. Like if I get shamed, it's devastating. If someone like tries to make me feel bad about something I did, they might as well punch me in the face. Like it's the worst thing you can do to me.
You hate the term shame on you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because it means like what you just did is your fault. That's why I love no free will. Nothing's my fault.
Right.
I didn't mean to do that. My brain just decided to do that. It's not me. It's my, I love it not being because at my core, I have toxic shame, which Heidi taught me that I have. But before that, I watched a video about shame by this guy. Let me find it because I actually sent it to Anya last night because she was having a dark night of the soul, as she called it. And I said, you should check out this guy's video. Well, now I can't find it, but I'll find it in a second. He had this video about overcoming shame by practicing self-compassion. And Dr. Chris Germer, Germer, Shame and Self-Compassion. It is a hour-long. It's called Self-Compassion, an Antidote to Shame. That's the name of the video. If you struggle with shame, this really helped me. So he talks about how what shame is feeling embarrassed about something you did, right? Feeling like I'm a bad person because I did this. I chose the wrong thing. I'm making bad choices for myself. I'm embarrassed at the thing I did.
Okay.
But what that really is, if you really break it down, is that what you are just sad that what you think you did is going to get you less love. You're thinking when you've experienced shame, you're mourning the loss of potential love. People aren't going to love me as much because I chose to do this thing. I'm such a bad person. I fail at getting love. And when you really break it down, it's all about like you're just someone who wants love. The fact that you feel shame is just you being someone who desperately wants love. And if you start thinking about everyone in the world, besides psychopaths probably, all just desperately want love, and I would even argue that they do as well, you can feel more connected to other people. And if he asks you at the very end if you're willing to do it, to go into, he's like, okay, he talks for like 45 minutes about shame and what it is and unlocks it. And then he goes, okay, now I want you to imagine like a thing that you're like 30%, like it gets you about 30% anxious even thinking about how embarrassed you were and how shameful it is. Like for me, I was like, pictured my bedside table and like how many cans of Zevia there are. And there might be a vibrator. And there might be like one earphone that I didn't put back in its little case because I was too lazy. And then I pictured the piece of paper on the floor in my bedroom from my new mattress that has been on the floor for 2 weeks because I just don't have
tag?
any reason to pick it up. It's a piece of paper that came with it that's like, here's your new Strava mattress. I hope you like it. And it's just, I keep stepping over it. It's literally on the way to my bed. I have to step over it and I just haven't picked it up. So I just pictured that.
Okay.
That's about 30% shame of like, if someone saw this and knew how long this has been here.
Yeah.
Which I'm now like talking about, which by the way, sharing about your shameful things is a huge antidote to shame.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
AKA why I became a comedian.
Like
It was really
getting it off your chest, just telling someone about it.
Yeah.
admitting the thing you're ashamed about publicly, whether that's to a friend or like to
Yeah.
your husband, to a therapist, is a way to get shame to lift.
Yeah.
So he like,
would you
but he
say
makes
that
you go into it. Yeah.
Shame and embarrassment, like, are they the same then? Are they
I don't think
different?
so.
No, I don't know. I think they kind of are. I think embarrassment is a type of shame.
To me,
because
embarrassment
embarrassment
is
is-
more surface
I
level
think-
in the moment, and shame is like deeply rooted. This struck the core of your being, and you don't even. It's like you can get
Yeah.
embarrassed by like doing like, oh my god, I spilled a drink on my pants, and now it looks like I pissed myself. Now I'm embarrassed, but you're not going to feel deep shame unless when you were
I think
growing
it's light
up.
shame.
Embarrassment is shame light. I
Yeah,
think.
it's shame. It's
Okay.
diet shame.
Yeah, diet shame.
But
Well, I
it's
think
in
it's
the
a
same
product of shame.
Yeah, like if you
embarrassment
spill,
is.
because when I'm really feeling confident, I can fall over in a chair, I can trip, I can get
Yeah.
food on my face, and someone goes, "You have something on your face," and I don't care. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm coming from a place of shame, those things are like, "Oh my god, oh I'm so sorry, oh
Yeah.
god, now I ruined my pants," and people think like, so it definitely is connected to how you're feeling, but. Lots of people, including myself, have a thing called toxic shame, which is what this Heidi girl
Oh, yeah.
opened me up about. And that's like at your core, something happened to you early in your life, and it could have been an event of abuse. It could have been literally, like I've talked about on the show before, like you were a baby and someone was in a bad mood around you one day when you really needed them to not be. Like you could have been like watching me one day and just like been in just a bad mood and
you
not met my
felt-
needs. And I'm like, gah, 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 and you're just kind of like not smiling at me. And that literally
Wow.
can build in a baby, who could ever,
Believe that.
who,
Yeah.
who could ever,
Imagine.
not imagine it. Like, how could you avoid being in a bad mood around your baby? Of course you're like, but
Eventually.
this is why being a parent is so scary.
Yeah.
Because you do risk, and it's not your fault, by the way, if you are a parent that does these things, because you're allowed to be in a bad mood around your baby. But I will say that things like that can lead to if that happens a couple times and a baby's needs aren't being met, or its happiness is getting met with like, you're too happy and I'm in a bad mood, and it's like not met, it can lead to that baby feeling like I am, so there's something wrong with me.
And I have to
If
hide
it's a sensitive baby.
happiness. I have to hide
And then
it.
they have to hide it, especially if you have like I didn't have a depressed mom growing up, but people who do have depressed moms, some of who have been very close to me before. I've had many friends that grew up with moms that were depressed, and they have to, and I've been a depressed person, and when people are happy around me, I fucking hate it, dude. And I can only imagine if I had a little kid around me being like, look at this is a tree. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I would just not, when I'm at my worst depressed wise, I would just be like, it's a leaf. Why are you excited? Like, I
Wow.
know that it might, if I were 25 as a mom, I would have no way to hide that
I
shit.
haven't
So,
I haven't watched all of Heidi's thing, but I watched the one that you sent the girls.
yeah, what'd you get out of it?
I thought it was very interesting, but I just wanted to touch on, what you were just saying. That kind of puts the blame on one person. But what I got from the video where she was talking about
Gotta blame the
limerence
baby.
and
The babies
toxic
have to-
shame. The baby has to take responsibility.
Yes, that's what
to heal itself.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't get to that yet. I'm just
That-
saying where it can come from.
Yes. So that's what I really liked about it. I liked
Yeah.
also what she was talking about, how when you're not really in touch with yourself or working on healing your emotional traumas and issues and all that stuff, your partner or whoever you're in a relationship with, the people you surround yourself by, are going to mirror what is the internal struggle that you have. So I really like what she said about mirroring.
Yeah, will you talk more on that? Because I felt like I got it, but I didn't get it. Like, whatever you... Oh, yeah. So if I feel like inherently I am worthless, unless I'm like... So that's what threes feel like their biggest fear is being worthless, is being a nobody. And that truly, like, being perfect is not my obsession. I know I'm not perfect.
Okay.
And I used to think I was a perfectionist, but that ain't it. I don't want to be a nobody. I want to be someone that people go, I remember her. Like, I just want to stand out and be extraordinary, not perfect.
You're a 3, right?
But in my core, it's
I don't
because
feel like I expect things to be perfect either, or that I want
for
to be
yourself.
Do you think that?
I think you're a little bit of that.
Really? Okay.
I screwed up this thing. No, it's not good. Like us eating a thing that you're making, and you're like, no,
You're
I cut-
right. It's not good.
Yeah, but it's not bad that you're that way. That's just the way you are. It's just your personality, and it's like, and it also, like I said before, it makes you so great in so many ways. But you will, if you're not working on yourself, you choose people that will mirror back to you what you inherently think about yourself, which is, I'm not that good.
Or it's just like what you put out there. I think what I liked about that is because I'm trying to do like the hypnotherapy thing now, and I'm talking about like the mind body connection, and I think that what she was saying kind of goes hand in hand in it, which is like when your mind has these negative thoughts about you, your mind has no way of implementing, right? So what it does is it makes your body implement. So it, like, the negative thoughts turn out physical with your body. And whatever, like you think of yourself, I'm not enough, I'm worthless, I'm unloved, I'm always rejected. You're like making your body project that to the world, and then therefore it attracts people who will do that to you.
Yes. Yes, she talks a lot about like the way you physically look, and she's like, I want to be clear, I'm not fat shaming. I don't think you should look a certain way. I think you should not subscribe to like perfectionist stereotypes that you see on TikTok. But she goes, if you don't feed your body good foods and exercise your body and dress your body in things that make it look good and feel good, you're not respecting yourself. And if you're not respecting yourself, no one's going to respect you. So when you go out and when you are feeding your body trash, when you are drinking Diet Cokes, even though they like Diet Cokes,
No
actually make
shame.
me feel amazing. No shame. But like if I'm, smoking weed to the point where my throat is burning,
Yeah.
would I do that to a baby? Would I do that to something that I loved? You have to respect yourself and feed yourself good foods and things that will like make you feel good. It's self-respect. And I used to always say, oh, wearing makeup is so sad, and like getting lip filler and all these things. Like, God, I'm just trying to like get people to like me that way. But I have a new perception on it, which is I'm just trying to look the way I feel. I'm trying to, like, I feel pretty when I have lip filler or whatever it is. That's a bad example because I don't feel pretty with lip filler, but with a lip flip, I do feel pretty. If you put a little Botox above my lip and it flips up, I feel prettier. And that's not that bit of me to get. That's me trying to put on the outside what I do feel on the inside.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm someone who deserves to look pretty. So I'm going to, and I think that that's not always the case. There's times where people try to fix outward things to heal something on the inside. But I do think that dressing a nice way, or like, women who always wear heels or they always wear makeup, I'm like, God, that's so sad. But maybe it's because they respect themselves and they want to look nice.
Well, that's the thing also, is like making sure that your mind is talking in positive. So it's like,
Yeah. Oh God. It's like the hardest
yeah,
thing
it's
in the
not,
world.
it's not easy, but you can say, I choose to take care of my skin, so I'm getting the lip flip. For me, it's self-care,
Yes.
as opposed to something negative like
No
I
one
need it
judges
for
you if you
wrinkles.
clean your car or your house, or you get your kitchen remodeled, you get new, tires put on your car, but you get lip filler and people think you're like one of the saddest people that could ever live, or you know what I mean? Like
I
no
don't
one
know.
judges me if I do Pilates 3 times a week. That's such a good thing. Well, it's transforming my body. What if I had a surgeon just do it quickly? How is it different?
I
Well,
once
I will
was
say-
judged for trying to upgrade my car because I guess in man world, your car is like your body, an extension of your
Yeah.
body, and it's I one time tried to put a expensive stereo system into a really shitty car because I worked at this deli and I had all this extra money and I didn't have anything to spend and I was in high school.
And that's what we used to do in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Is
yes.
put nice stereo systems in shitty cars.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
The one that would, like,
1990
click
Volvo.
on?
It was exactly. And it had that thing, the plate that could fold
The
down.
plate.
You could put a CD in it.
It
Oh,
would
it
go
was-
like it would tilt down.
Yes,
Like
it
the
would
screen?
tilt down. You could put a
Fuck,
CD
yes,
in it,
dude.
and then it
Those
tilts
were the
back up.
coolest.
And it had the audio waveform thing popping, so it looked like your car was like a disco.
You had like it would like it was like a little screen that would show the waves
Yes,
of the audio.
show the waves
Dude,
while
I
I'm
mean,
driving.
there's nothing cooler.
How do you know about this,
Because I
Nikki?
was in high school in the early 2000s, and this is what people were getting put in their cars.
Gotcha.
And it was, Huffy had one. I got one put in the Bastard.
I remember you did get a
Yeah,
new
we were all going to
stereo.
audio specialists and dropping our cars
Yeah,
off and
actually.
having
That's
them flip our cars. It was a thing I read about recently. Like, why did we all decide to do this? Because they
you
came with
could.
shitty audio.
Yeah.
And suddenly
Yes.
the audio was making bigger advancements than the car companies could put in the cars. Okay, so
Yes.
Brian, you did this.
I had a 1990 Volvo 740 Turbo, which remember those Volvos that were like a box? They were like boxy cars.
Yeah, and they had the backward seats in the back.
No.
They were a regular
No,
car.
he's talking about a sedan.
Yeah, it
Oh.
was a sedan, but it was like a
remember a box
square. You know how
sedan.
cars these days are smooth and like there's like a
Yeah.
they're very smooth and like they're circular and there's no sharp
Yeah, they are-
angles.
They're
Volvo
thick now.
A Volvo
Was-
from the 90s was
They're
like
voluptuous
a
now.
bunch like a couple of rectangles on top of each other.
Right.
They totally were. They were like
Yes.
a child's drawing of a car.
Yes,
Right.
like,
Yes.
like his hand's not formed enough to do smooth arcs yet.
yes, yes.
Or like an Etch-a-Sketch. And
Yes,
so
yes.
that car was like on its last legs, and I put this thing in at Circuit City, the now defunct Circuit City.
Yeah,
The people
drop
there
it
were
off
like, you want us to put this in that? And I was like, yeah. Because it was like a $3,000 system. Putting it in a car
I was gonna
that
say, was
God.
that $3,000? Yeah, it
was
sounds like it.
$3,000, and I was putting it in a car that I could probably sell for $700. And they were like, "You want us to put this in?" Then I was like, "Yeah." And then I could see them in the back.
You
when he's
almost
like,
saved Circuit City.
I did, yeah. I was trying to single-handedly save it from bankruptcy. They were all laughing at me in the back behind when they were like, "He wants to put it in there," and then the other guy would go, "Oh my god!" And they'd start laughing, and then they'd see that I was looking at them through the screen, and then they go, "Oh, he's looking at us," and they'd go laugh in private.
And then you screamed at them, but you go, "Don't take offense. I'm an 8. I'm just
That's right.
enthusiastic. I'm not
I just
mad."
started saying, "But this is what I want. I worked hard at the deli." And
That is totally the way you talk.
yeah, I worked very hard
That's
at the
that three
deli.
coming
Brian,
out.
a thing you do on stage that I love is like if the audience doesn't like a joke or like isn't on board, he'll be like, "So you don't think that that's weird that happened?" Like he'll check with them and go like, "I just want to make sure you don't think that's
Good.
comical that
Good.
I just said that," and he'll repeat it, and then they have to like they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
actually, you're right when
They
you say
gotta
it like
agree.
that."
Yeah.
but he will check with them. I'm always
Good.
like, "Okay, I guess that wasn't funny," but he's like, "Wait a second, so you don't think that is interesting that
Yeah.
I just that I
Good for you.
press the emergency
That-
stop button on an escalator? You're
Yes.
all just okay with that?"
Yes. Sometimes
so
you
funny.
say there's two things that happen. One is sometimes you say something that 95% of audiences thought was interesting, and for whatever reason this one audience decides it's not. They deserve to be yelled at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
your
Call 'em
feeling.
out.
Oh my gosh. I totally know that feeling. Okay, we'll be right back after this. Final thought. So, Noah's wedding, I guess,
Wait,
I
I
guess-
don't
We
know
ha-
what's going on with Noah's wedding.
well, she got married.
What?
Yes.
Noah's
Yeah.
married.
When?
2 weeks ago?
About
Three
a month
weeks
ago.
Oh,
18th.
congratulations.
February
I
18th.
heard the wedding noise, but
Didn't you
I
listen to the
know.
episode where we went in depth into her wedding?
No, I'm.
Well, we
Oh.
didn't. It's a joke. We keep
Oh,
forgetting to
thank
talk
you.
about it. So I
Oh,
wanted to talk about
let's
some
talk
things.
about it.
First of all, leading up to the wedding, I've had 3 friends get married in the past year.
God.
And something that upsets so many brides, and I wish we would all stop doing it, is like people giving advice when they're not
Asked.
asking for it
Yeah.
and getting in
Unsolicited.
brides'
Yeah.
minds. And this is for upcoming mothers as well.
Yeah.
Like, stay in your lane. I don't care how many kids you have. Their experience is going to be different. You're bringing so much to the table that they aren't, or vice versa. Like,
Good
Just
advice.
share positive things.
Yeah.
Stop projecting all your negative bullshit just because you don't like your husband and you had a bad time.
Having a baby. Or
Like, phrase
whatever.
it from a positive place. Like, Noah, what did you go through a lot of that?
Yeah, I think like if I took away anything, and I knew going into it that I was going to get a lot of like opinions or statements or questions. And I think like for anyone who's getting married, the thing that you need is a backbone. And that could mean anything. That could mean being aggressive in return, or just like letting shit roll off your back and just being like, okay, fine, this is probably coming from a loving place, but I don't need to absorb any of this. But it's just very interesting that like all these things come out, all these like all of people's issues, and like I wouldn't even say it was all opinions about what we chose to do or anything like that, but just a lot of comments and things that you hear that are definitely like deeply rooted issues that people have not addressed. And for some reason, a big event like a wedding or some kind of like big celebration brings that shit out. And I thought it was like very interesting from like a psychological
Yeah.
perspective.
Can we get an example?
Yeah. Just that.
Okay, I mean, without going too much, but maybe
Yeah,
like
I
some
understand.
family infighting that has nothing to do with the people getting married, and
Right.
not like expecting a bride and groom to play
Address.
chess
Oh, yeah.
with certain
Right.
people, when it could just be like adults handling it and staying
does
away from each
everyone
other.
Ah, I
Make
get
it
that.
about them.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's the thing that bugs me is like, I see that happen all the time of like brides or brides, mostly brides, talking about how they have to deal with, well, these people can't be sat with these people, and we're worried that his mom is going to feel, I have to make sure that his sister's brought
There's a
into this
lot.
thing. It's like,
Yeah, like,
what happened to
why
this
can't
being
people
your
just be-
day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like why do we have to manage all these other people's feelings right now?
But
And
I
it's-
got a lot, and my sister-in-law helped me through a lot of stuff, like that, or maybe people having certain like dietary restrictions. and
Oh, give me
I'm
a
not going to
break.
add like chicken fingers to my wedding menu because
Ah.
this and that. Like, she's like,
For the
people are
kids?
adults, right? So people
Oh,
are
okay.
adults. They
bring
can
your kids snacks.
bring things. They
Yeah.
can bring their sweater. They can
They're
bring
adults.
their food.
Yes.
They can handle it. They can keep themselves busy. You don't have to figure out what they're doing for dinner on a night that they're there, that there's nothing
No.
going on. Just like all these,
As a
these things. And
vegan,
it's like, yeah, it's
bring
the-
a backup.
Yeah.
Bring a pocket of protein bars because you might not have something to
A
eat.
lot of the
Bring-
time, even if you tell
Right.
the
It's
catering
crazy.
company, like, make sure there's vegan options, a lot of the times they're just not good at the vegan options. And then even if
yeah,
there is a
I mean,
vegan
your wedding
option,
was
it's not very good.
Amazing for me.
Yeah, they
as
had
a
good-
vegan
I
options.
had
And I didn't-
vegan.
It was, but yeah, that's an interesting thing that comes up is the just unsolicited advice and just people wanting to like get involved in
And when you're
just want to
pregnant,
bring up drama. Oh my
when you're
God, I
pregnant
can't
and
even
everyone
imagine.
tells you, "Oh, aren't you tired? You should
Mm.
be sitting down." And I'm just like, I've been on this planet for 40 years. I know
Stop
my legs and my
projecting.
body better than you. I can tell when I need to sit down.
That's another. Let's just stop doing that in
funny.
general. You must be so this. Like,
Yeah.
can we all just?
Yeah. Assumptions.
Do you know why we do that?
Yeah.
Is because if you are someone that does that, it's because you don't speak up for yourself when your legs are tired.
Uh-huh.
That's you.
Oh,
it's
that's interesting.
Other people do. Assume other people do. Assume you don't like to have your needs met and you're scared to get them met. So that is nice of you to consider other people's, because I do that a lot too. I know that I do that because I'm always scared to speak up. So I'm constantly monitoring what other people might need to try to get ahead of it because I know they won't speak up, but they will. Because they're or
Yeah.
you should leave them to have to say something. Don't try to and yeah, that's so insulting when someone's like, you should sit down. Like,
Well,
it's my
you know,
wedding.
it didn't even come from family or anything. Like a quick story is one of the hotel staff people, the cleaning lady. I passed her in the hallway and she's like, "Oh, how many weeks are you?" This and that. So I told her, and she's like, "My daughter just had a baby." Okay, great, awesome. Then the next day, I'm downstairs in the lobby waiting, and she passes by me and she looks at me, and she goes, "How many weeks are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm
We've been
30.
through this.
I'm 27 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's like, 27 weeks. You should be sitting down, not standing. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm fine.
Oh, so see, that's like making you feel bad about like, what are you doing to that baby?
Oh,
I'm like, standing is good. It's good. I'm building muscle. It's good.
yeah.
my God.
That's like almost 7 months.
Yeah, almost.
Oh wow, so this baby's coming.
She's just
so common.
acting like
Baby's
she's
almost here.
being nice to you and like thinking about your.
I didn't think
you know.
too much of it, to be honest. And
No.
I have to say that, like, for the most part, I had a wonderful time, even though my
Did
wedding got
Avi
rained out.
cry?
Avi, so on our first dance or whatever, it was after everyone gave speeches, and he started to cry. And he was so cute.
Like
He was
during
so
the speech?
sensitive. Not during the speech. It was just like, I think like it all kind of like hit him, and then
Aw.
The moment.
Does
What
he
was the
cry a
song?
lot, like emotionally?
yeah. I mean,
He is
he's cried. He's cried. I mean, like he cries at
You've
like
seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. But
Did you tell him to sit down? He should sit down.
Yeah.
crying.
Did you tell him how?
no, I was just like,
How
let's do
shameful.
another dance move, because we were just like waiting, like back and forth.
It's
I was
so
like,
awkward to dance in front of everyone.
Was
Honestly,
it awkward?
you know how I am with being center of attention. I don't
Yes,
like it.
yes. Oh, yeah. Tell me.
I didn't care. I was like, you know what? F this.
Yeah, they can watch if they want. They don't have to if they don't want to.
Also, my contact got stained from like my hairspray or makeup or something. So I was
man.
only like with one contact the whole time, only like
Damn it.
50%
Classic.
vision. So I was just like, I don't give a shit. I only get this once. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Oh.
And I liked our first dance, and then we had a typo negative song that was really fun to dance to, called "I Don't Want to Be Me," and we just like thrashed around with our friends, and our
Like a heavy metal song.
I got it.
some family was like, "What's going on? Oh no, a pregnant woman in a mosh pit!" But it
my
was not like
God.
that. It was just fun, and I really understood what the wedded bliss feeling was like. I really felt it. It was really nice.
That's cool.
Are you still?
Yeah.
Do you still have it? What does life feel different now being married? Is there a change?
Well, you know, like we did everything backwards. So
Yeah, like I guess being pregnant with his child and living in a house to like
You guys
buying a
got
house
divorced
together.
first.
yes,
Yeah.
we kind of did, and yeah, but it feels nice. I definitely feel
Have you said husband yet?
yes, and that feels good. I like it because I feel like a sense of security, and you know, like the seal of commitment that we both made to each other.
And the baby didn't give that
That's
to
great.
you. Like the fact that you're going to have a baby together.
You know what?
Brian.
It was not the baby that sealed the deal. It was the wedding.
Well, congratulations.
It's
Thank
so
you.
fun.
Oh.
I saw the picture. She looked so
I wanna
beautiful,
see.
and her dress was so good. But then she asked Sarah Lena for advice on the dress. Like, how do I make this better? And Sarah Lena
Lena-
told her to put a slit in it, and oh
killed
my
it.
god,
She didn't say
was
just put a slit. She was like, put a slit and put it all the way up to here. And she pointed to like
Her
where
hip.
the femur
Yes.
meets the pelvis.
It was such a good call. It was so hot.
Really?
Yes.
But she's also pregnant, so she can't look
Otherwise, I
like
would have looked like a balloon.
she can't look indecent. When you're pregnant, you never look pornographic, right? So
Right.
like you could do the sexiest thing and you
Gotcha.
still look
And
like
you
wholesome.
felt comfortable with the
It was
slit.
so hot.
Yes, and I had my
Awesome.
boobs grew 3 cups. So I was like, you know what? Let's pump
Nice.
these babies up. Well,
Chris and I went to a pregnant wedding in Australia. She was 7.5 months, maybe 8 months pregnant, and I was like, "That's the hottest bride I've ever seen in my fucking life." Like,
Wow.
there is something about
Well, it's
a pregnant woman
beautiful.
that is
Yeah.
so hot.
Yeah.
And I went up to her afterwards and I go, "Listen, I know everyone's telling you look hot tonight," and I was like, and that's just what they would say no matter what, but we all mean it. This is next level. I was like, I want to get pregnant because you make it look like a hot
Wow,
accessory.
first time you've said anything.
No, because I
like
just want to look hot.
Yeah.
But I really was like, you make me want to be pregnant because it makes you look so beautiful.
Well, I
and
cannot
hot.
wait to
Yeah.
see your picture.
Yeah, I'll share
Oh
them with
my
you. They're
God.
really cute. And then they did this like, what's the Jewish ritual where you like he walks around you a bunch?
Oh, that's
Oh,
the
well-
nervous energy tradition where yes.
So in the
Or
Jewish
do you walk
tradition,
around him?
I have to walk around him 7 times. I don't give him a ring during the ceremony.
I thought
He
they were
gives
going
me
to
a
stop
ring.
playing the music and it was going to be like musical chairs and you were going to have to like both violently sit somewhere because you're just like dun 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 dun. But you walk around to symbolize the ring.
So yeah, like so that's like my ring to him. That's me symbolizing to him that, you know, I'm accepting him and all that stuff.
Did
Oh,
you
so
do
he just
the,
gets you to walk around him. He doesn't have to wear anything to. Oh, actually, yeah, he has a ring
Well,
too, right?
so there's like okay, so basically after the ceremony in Jewish tradition, you go down to a private space for 12 minutes and you're supposed to have sex for the first time.
Oh my God,
that
I've
is-
never heard
That's
this.
right.
And that's where
Shalom
you give
Aleichem.
him a present. It's called the Yichud room. And you go there and you give him a ring. Or like a gift or anything like, you know, he presents you with a gift or anything like that, and you have sex,
For the first time for 12 minutes.
At least 12 minutes.
And then you come back and everyone knows you've just banged.
Yes.
And then I go, that was only 6 minutes. What's going on, Avi?
Well, no, the rabbi stays outside the room and makes sure you don't come out before 12 minutes.
Wow.
Oh my God.
The Jews
Wait, did you
value
actually
stamina.
go to a
No,
room?
we didn't. I mean, we've already had sex because I was pregnant,
Right.
so it wasn't like that. But that's where we signed our marriage license, and our friends came down, and
then you
that's
all
where I
had
gave Avi
sex.
his ring. We had an orgy
Yes.
with the rabbi. It was wonderful.
What about the chair part and the stomping on the glass?
Did you do
yeah,
this?
so you stomped on the glass, but the chair stuff where they like lift you in the
Yeah.
party and
Yeah.
like shake you up and down.
They just do it to the guy, right?
No.
Both.
They
both
lift you
of us.
both?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I only
you-
got raised halfway because, you know, just in
yeah,
case.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, in Australia, after you get married and you say I do, they step to the side, they sit down at a table, and then they call up witnesses, and then they sign the legal papers there, and it takes like 10 minutes. And everyone just kind of stands there and waits. And at Chris, I guess I just would go, what's going on right now? And everyone's like, the signing. And I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know what they called it. But I go, what is this? And they're like, you guys don't do this? And we're like, no.
Well, interesting.
We just want to party. We want some attention. We
Yeah.
don't really want the documents.
Get that
A
party
lot of us don't
started.
even sign the documents afterwards. I have friends who have gotten divorced and they go to get a divorce and they realize they never even went and filed the paperwork. So they're not even married. I have a friend that happened
No
to.
kidding.
Wow.
Oh,
Because it's
wow.
just, you could just say that you are. No one's going to question it. But,
Right.
they,
No
but
one
in
would
Australia,
ever-
they make you sign the papers right
We
there.
want proof. Where's the
Nice.
They
proof?
want proof.
Yep.
At
All
my
right.
wedding, I opted not to do the chair thing for the most Jewish reason possible, which is I thought I'd get
Your stomach
nauseous.
would
I
hurt.
thought I'd
Yes.
get nauseous. And so it's like, what's
Afraid
more
of
Jewish
heights
than
or
that?
what?
It should be the tradition that you decline the chair thing because you're going to get nauseous. That should be the Jewish tradition. Not for me. I don't want to put myself in that position. You know.
And then they go, okay, we're gonna stomp the glass. It's like, but it's gonna make a mess. Is that a Jewish thing? Someone's gonna get
No,
their
it's-
foot cut.
That's more Jewish. It's to be like, but what if I cut my foot?
yeah,
Yeah,
there we
that's something
go.
the
Okay.
rabbi warned us about.
Now be
It's to not
careful.
have a
You
flimsy
might cut
glass.
your foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
pick out thin glasses.
It reminds me of the other night when Dad caught a stink bug in the TV room. And
Yeah.
he's like, I hate these damn things. And I'm just like, God, just let it out. And he goes, no, you got to kill it. And so he goes out in his socks and he puts the stink bug in a paper towel. And then he stomps on the paper towel.
Oh my God.
And he really stomps it. It's like this very dramatic thing. And I go, "What did that feel good? Really? Oh, you let him
Right.
have." And he goes, "No, you got to kill him." I was trying to make sure he was dead. I was like, that was a little much. And then he came back in. And he goes, "God, you could smell that damn stink bug." God,
It was all over his
He
sock.
expressed before I killed him, and then he goes, "Oh, he smelled his foot, and it's soaked into." Who stomps on a bug in their sock?
that
Wow.
hard. And
Yes, and a stink bug that
deliberate.
you know it oozes out the worst smell.
Yeah. Well, it's,
Dad hates stink bugs.
no, no one likes them.
I like them.
I mean,
they're they are harmless.
he
they only
built a
stink when
trap for them.
He's obsessed.
He built a special trap out of liter bottles.
Nikki Glaser pod memes. Will you please do a meme about my dad and stink bugs and how he is out to get them? And
He wants them to suffer. Actually, he hates them that much.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate this thing because they fall into this trap and they
well,
die. 'cause
Dad's
they
a type 2, and their
What
biggest
is
fear
that? We're gonna do is test.
stink bugs.
I'm going to do a test on him.
No, oh yeah, we should.
Yeah, we gotta
I'll send
find
you
out.
that. You got to give it.
We
You
gotta
got to
find
tell me
out.
which one he is. I'm gonna guess, and I bet I'll know.
Okay.
But,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
I don't know
don't
what
tell
that
me
guess
yet.
is yet. Okay,
Yeah.
we got to go. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. We will be here tomorrow. Don't even think we won't. This weekend I'm gonna be in Grand Rapids and Columbus. So excited about those shows. We are back on tour. It is so fun. Besties have been coming out to shows. It's like the best time meeting you guys afterwards. As always, you can go to the merch booth after the show. Tell Anya that you're a bestie. She'll give you a free meet and greet. You know how it works. So buy tickets to those shows, Grand Rapids and Columbus, this weekend. Yes, this weekend. And then the following weekend, we're somewhere else. Brian, where are we?
Cincinnati.
Gary,
Cincinnati.
Indiana.
Yeah.
And then Cincinnati.
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birthplace of Michael Jackson. And then
Hometown.
Cincinnati, birthplace of moi.
We're going to have a bunch of people coming.
Bunch of people.
Bunch
And
of
also besties, you got to fill that up too because I don't want to all be my family. All right. Love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Don't be good. Bye.